You are watching ILFL Soccer Night.
Sponsored by Hawk and Eagle.
Welcome back. It's a show that's sponsored by Hawk and Eagle. It's your soccer night, ILFL on a Monday night. Our second game of the evening now is the First Division clash. It's the First Division clash between Illtown and Lotus. Another one of those bargain basement, bottom of the table clashes. But hey, there's some interest in this one. Lotus picks up 3 points the week before, and all of a sudden, they're looking like a football team. They turned up against Illtown, who some weeks are a football team, and some weeks we don't know what's going on with them. So who knows what was going to happen between Illtown and Lotus. This is what happened. Let's have a look at the highlights. Illtown versus Lotus. looked like an entertaining game. There it was. Lotus 2, Illtown 2. A fair result, I suppose, at the end of the day for two teams who have been struggling all season, but still provide much entertainment each and every week amongst themselves and for us right here in the studio. 2-2 it was between Lotus and Illtown. Lotus still end up at the bottom. Illtown still remain the team that nobody can fathom out. Maybe Nanu can. Nanu, what can you say about Illtown?
It did look like an entertaining game. Bala scored a goal, as we all saw. But anyway, the results reflect the performance for both teams throughout the whole season. There were no surprises. The conclusion didn't surprise anyone. Even if one team won, nothing would have changed, as those two teams are right at the bottom of the pecking order. They really need to pull up the socks, make some changes and win some more games. That's all I can say for them.
True. I mean, Nanu is our stats man, and Nanu, here's a couple of stats for you. You know, Illtown, I think even though they didn't finish bottom, they conceded more goals than anybody else. 104 goals. They scored 52 and they had a goal difference of 52. They're averaging more than 2 goals a game and still finished second from bottom. I mean, it's a crazy first division. If they're averaging 2 goals a game and still only winning 1 in every 5, something going wrong there, isn't it?
Something's definitely gone wrong. I don't want to blame anyone, players or the management, but I think it's a combination of determination from the players and managers at the same time.
I think it's down to lack of experience. It's a very young manager, Shujed, who's the manager of Illtown. It's a newly formed team, only a few years old. So I think he's just getting to know how the system works. I think this is the 3rd season, if I'm correct. And most of the players are his friends and people that are within the area itself. So he hasn't gone out to recruit players. The team hasn't really evolved as much. So I think it's a learning. Hopefully in the next 2-3 years, once he understands the system and the league itself, I think he'll grow. For a new club, for a very, very young manager who also plays, I think it's been quite an uphill task for him, to be honest. So in that sense, it's a learning curve. He's got nothing to lose. The only thing he can do is gain experience, and hopefully in the coming years he'll understand how the system works and improve and hopefully get better.
And to be fair, I think they were up against some big names as well. You're talking about Tower Hamlets, Leytonstone, West End, you know, SCTA, even Burdett. True. Those are some big names, and it would have been really difficult for them to win those games.
Talking about the big names, the other team that's struggling down the bottom of the division are St Catherine's, and they had a daunting task up against West End. And it was a game that we thought was just going to be another regular game to talk about this week, but because of another fixture that happened and another result, it ended up being the championship winning game for West End. Let's take a look at all of the results in the first division yesterday. We'll run it from top to bottom. Bromley Juniors beat SCTA 1-0 in a double banker game, which must have come as a shock and a surprise to SCTA. We'll talk to cameras about that in a second. Burdett beat in Tower Hamlets by 7 goals to 3. We've been saying it all evening. Nobody saw that one coming, and even if it was close, nobody expected Burdett to put 7 past Tower Hamlets. Illtown 2, Lotus 2, we've just seen. Leytonstone beating Stepney B by 5 goals to 2. Weavers going down by the odd goal in 5 to Bow. And then as a result of that result between Burdett and Tower Hamlets, West End's 7-0 win over St Catherine's means they are now the first division champions. So congratulations to you, West End, on achieving something in their first season in the ILFL. Cameras, I'm sure you'd like to extend your congratulations to them.
Yes, yeah, of course, West End. Congratulations from the ILFL and obviously from the show itself. It's a great achievement, David, to say the least. They've been top all season. They've never looked down. They've never been worried about anybody else. And I think it was just Rashid who mentioned the fact that they don't panic on the field. They just happily stroll along, pass to one another. And it's great to see that a team playing at a very leisurely pace can win a very long division of 22 games. It
was. So, right, you've been saying it, and I've been sitting here and trying to push Tower Hamlets, and you've been saying here quite confidently because you've seen enough of West End and you were in no doubt.
I actually saw them play before our league started. I saw them play in the Mayor's Cup, and I was impressed. But I wasn't too sure if they're going to have the same team in our league. And rightly they did, and a lot of the youngsters and a lot of talent. And the unique thing about that team is, even if they go down or 2 goals down, there's no panic, there's no shouting, there's no screaming, there's no finger pointing. What is good about West End is they play quality football and they calm, relax. And I know one of the games I watched, they were 3-0 down to Weavers in the first 10 minutes. They ended up winning 5-3 comfortably. There was no reaction, there was no shouting, which you expect from a lot of teams once you're goal down, let alone 3 goals down. So credit to them, worthy winners from week 1, top of the league, and met all the challenges, came through all the teams, etc. And I think they are rightly the best team in Division 1, and congratulations to West End if you're watching.
So, what happened to Tower Hamlets?
Hamlets, you know what, that's a mystery to me. Burdett, yes, we know they're a good side, but to beat Towns by 7-3, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it because I did not see that result coming, to be honest. We thought it may continue the next week and last game decider, but that's a shocker. But in another sense, Burdett are a decent side, but I heard on the day, I spoke to one of the Burdett managers, he said they were playing out of the skin, and I know Hamlets were 1 man down after 4-1, but before the 1 man down, they were actually competing every ball, winning every ball, and they outperformed Hamlets. And I think Hamlets, unless they took it for granted, is given 3 points, which I'm suspecting. But they actually deserved the win based on performance, not just a lucky game or lucky day on the day itself.
Nanu, something in the breakfast bowls for Burdett that morning.
But I mean, as Rashid says, they are just another dark horse. You can't predict them. You can't tell which Titan they will bring down. And unfortunately for Tower Hamlets, it happened at the worst possible time. Mistakes definitely made by Tower Hamlets, and I think it's definitely lessons learned, big lessons learned for them.
It is indeed, and let's have a look at the tables in the First Division as it stands with just 1 or 2 games to go for most teams. Here it is, West End confirmed as champions of the top of the First Division, 85 goals scored, 53 points from 21 games. Well done to you guys. Tower Hamlets now, it's not over for them. It's not a confirmed runner-up position. It's not guaranteed for them. Leytonstone have been sucked back into something, and it means that with a game to go for both teams, there's something to play for those 2 teams. We'll take a look at their fixture in the next segment of the show. But with that win, 40 points. Realistically, it's unlikely that they'll catch anybody now and not 3rd place anywhere. SCTA, because of that defeat, 30 points, and they're at the top of a little mini league going on there between themselves. Bromley Juniors, who have done well over the last few weeks. Bow and Weavers, St Catherine's, I think they can say that their season is going to finish. They're going to finish right there in 9th place. Lotus down at the bottom, Illtown 11th, and well done to Stepney B. I have to say, you were languishing down there and thereabouts at the bottom earlier in the season, but you got yourself some good wins, you're forming a decent team, and you managed to get yourself 14 points from 20 games. Let's just talk about some of the other teams' cameras. We spoke about Beaumont's season, and it's just a case of, you know what, bad day at the office this season, we'll put that one to bed and move on. That's the case for SCTA now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think SCTA, there have been a few player issues which need to be addressed by Musi and the management. They had a very slow start, and as soon as they got the momentum going, they had that stall again against Stepney in the semi-final, and that's knocked them back again. I think preparation for them has not been the best in some games. I mean, to come to the semi-final of the Champions Cup with 8 players was just a disaster. Equally, against Bromley Juniors yesterday, to turn up with 9 players for a 6-point game, again, was just disaster. So there's 2 problems that I see. One is obviously that certain key players are letting the team and the manager down. And secondly, the preparation from the manager himself. Maybe he's getting fed up, maybe he's just had enough of chasing players, but that's something that SCTA and Musi together need to iron out and address
over the summer.
I was going to ask, was it the case that SCTA probably underestimated Division 1? I know they won the Division 2 easily last season. Were they underestimating Division 1?
That's a good question. Can you answer that when we come back in the 3rd section of the show? Because we have to take a break. We will talk more about the First Division and the teams there and what their progress will be throughout the summer and into next season. So stick around, we'll be back after this short break.
You are watching ILFL Soccer Nights.
Sponsored by Hawk and Eagle.